you often say this. You say AI is going to show us what it means to be human, and it's going to take away from us things that we think we're good at, which machines are better at. And one thing that machines are amazing at, it's kind of frightening, is the giant conception of data, like huge banks of data that our brains could not possibly comprehend. It seems like the machines are able to just gather all of that stuff and somehow, in this really surreal way, figure out patterns that there's no way in a million years we would have been able to guess. I remember you told me a story about they invented a new pharmaceutical drug by feeding in information about biochemistry into the machines, and the machines just sort of conceptualized a new possible drug, and then they checked it out and it was like, God damn, that could actually work. So that's one of its strengths, is dealing with big data. And you're essentially saying that the intelligent companies now are beginning to realize that they can get a data analyst who is the ultimate data analyst and build a GPT character to do this. Am I conceptualizing this right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And the key distinction here being that, like you said, it can consume and understand, not in a human way, but in a machine way, understand the data, and it can make connections, but you have to prompt it for the connections, right? So it's not all of a sudden going to deliver a report to you on its own about like an analysis of, let's say, your marketing and sales. Eventually it'll be able to do that, but not yet. And it's going to take a little bit to get to that point. So you, as the CMO or CEO or entrepreneur in your company, it'll help you keep tabs of what's going on without you having to understand every single minute detail. And so you can focus on the bigger picture, like what should we do in the next quarter? Like you as, let's say you're a CMO and you're talking to your team and you have an idea of where things are at and how it's going. Your team has an idea, everyone is looking at the data. And so you're in a collaborative environment. And that's also where you then introduce your marketing GPT, your own internal marketing bot, so that you can check your assumptions. You have a hunch and you can check it and talk to your marketing GPT to see if you're right, if you're onto something. And then as you're having the conversation with that GPT, you will uncover new ideas and you'll have assumptions challenged, and you'll see, oh, I thought it was ABC, but it's LMNOP. Like, we thought our email campaigns last month converted because of, the framing, the offer, and so on. But it turns out that it converted because we were topically hit the market at the right time. And so the offer wasn't the key thing, but the topic and the timing mattered more than anything. And then you can talk to your marketing GPT and go, we're trying to plan out our next 6 months promotions based on market trends in the past that your marketing GPT has been trained on. And decide the prompt you're having with your marketing GPT based on all the past data that you have consumed and crunched and understood, and looking at what our competitors are doing and understanding general market trends for our category of products that we sell. Give me 6 ideas for promotions that line up with what the next 6 months could be like, and give me a reason why you're suggesting these promotions, and then an outline of what they would be like. And out of those 6, probably 2 of them will be like, they're great, they're perfect. You can now put them into production with the rest of your marketing team. And this is like, getting a marketing GPT is, it's simple. It's not easy just yet, but it's simple enough that you can do it. And you don't need to be a huge company. You can be an all-in entrepreneur and put this together. You just got to have the data and have a large language model that you fine tune it on, and you're off to the races. So I think the best way I'm trying to explain it to people, or that I finding that I'm explaining it to people, most of it is, it's like you're talking to your company, right? Like, and imagine you could talk as if your company was a person. You can talk to your company as if it is a person that's super smart, very fast, and knows everything. If you had a person like that, how would you talk to him or her? Just talk to your ChatGPT internally like that.
Yeah. It's very fascinating. It reminds me of, the king in the courtroom in the castle, and he would have the magician, and he would speak to the magician or the astrologer or something like this, and he'd tell him stuff. And in a weird way, magic is coming back, because we're all sitting around here now in our companies, and we're going to maybe create an avatar that is just a collective the collective intelligence of all the things that we might call our company, all the data, all the assets, all the intelligence, and also obviously its ability to connect. And you can sit down, you can speak to it, and it's about learning how to talk to this thing, how to communicate with this avatar, and ask this. And this again highlights something that you've been stressing so much, which is so interesting. It's not something I've heard people say before, but you would say that again, these machines are going to teach us what we are. They're going to reflect back at us in a sort of crushing humility. They're going to show us we're terrible at things like big data, perhaps, but they're also going to show us that we, in some sense, are the leaders. Like, we're the people who need to ask the good questions. And the avatar, the big data, ChatGPT, it just sits there and it knows all this stuff, but it's impotent. It can't do anything. But if you ask it the right question, if you're able to steer it properly, get it to focus on certain things, you can get incredible things out of it. It can be a great teammate. It can be a great advisor. And so you're building these.
What's going to happen is that you're going to find companies and entrepreneurs and anyone who's involved in business at all, you're going to need to become the tastemaker of your market. Because when everyone has a GPT internally and they have these tools, which are like, anyone can have them. There's no barrier to these tools. Anyone can have them. But that means that you have to take the role of the tastemaker more seriously, because you need to become the entrepreneur or company that sets the talking points, that sets the tone, that gives people a vision and a view and a perspective of your product, your market, and where things are going. So you got to become the tastemaker and set the tone and set the pace. And that is fundamentally, that's going to become one of the most important skill sets, is exactly that. Just, you give the perspective, you come with the judgment, and you decide what goes in, what goes out, and you can become a true influencer in the market space, not an Instagram influencer who posts photos of their ass, right? Who cares? I mean, some people care, but you're not going to become
my job, Sam.
You're not going to become that kind of an influencer. That's a fake influencer. You're going to become a real influencer, like a captain of industry, where you set the standard as to what's going on with products and with services and where the industry is going. So, because the playing field is more leveled now than it ever has been. So you got to take that on.